Can't turn phone while recording. Good morning. Oh yeah, I'm live. All right. Let's see where to begin with this one. I was always told as a young man that you can't think straight without 10 grand in the bank, and I just never knew why it was 10 grand. It's actually not, but there is a principle there that I still subscribe to today that I don't see enough people subscribing to. And with the fallacy, I guess it's not a fallacy, it's truth. You got to spend money to make money, but you got to have money to spend it in the first place. I think that's where a lot of people get kind of maybe misled, if you will. Before I go into that, by the way, if you're not generating enough leads, if you, what's up, George? Morning, Jodine. If you're not generating enough leads, and if you don't have, a strong plan for taking over your market, for dominating your local real estate market, give me a shout. Melissa Ray White. Man, I'm getting some friends on here. Over half of my friends are real estate agents on my Facebook group. But yeah, so the whole spend money to make money. I remember when everybody in my office started making money, and they started getting these fancy cars. And good morning. I was kind of scared for a minute because they got these big nuts of payments. I mean, if you ever drove past my old office, especially around the heyday of the market, you saw it looked like a car lot. I mean, we were keeping those fancy car guys in business. Mercedes, BMWs, and Bentleys, and Cadillacs. I mean, you name it. And I had a guy tell me, he said, hey, don't worry about that. He said, the good thing about sales guys having that kind of overhead is they have to come to work every day. And I thought, gosh, that's sinister. I would just never wish that upon somebody. I saw a bumper sticker. It was, I owe, so off to work I go. And, for me, I just never wanted to be in a position or a situation where I was in that kind of a pickle. A lot of guys have to have that stress, or gals, the bite off more than you can chew and nibble like hell kind of stress. But for me, when I learned that as a young man, you can't think straight without $10,000 in the bank, which is not $10,000. I always was curious as to why. Well, you can't make good business decisions if you're in a position of need all the time. And too often I see, a lot of business people go into debt, slam stuff on credit cards, and not keep track of what's called core capital, because in the world we're in, every time you turn on Facebook, somebody's trying to get you to do something. Every time you open your email, somebody's trying to get you to do something. And usually it's buy something. You turn on TV, they're trying to get you to do something, And the old fool and his money is soon departed saying is it's kind of harsh. I don't know if it's necessarily true. I think the truth is they're lucky to come together in the first place. That's something I heard on a movie or something I never forgot. But, I found out, I asked one time, I said, why 10 grand? How come it's 10 grand? And, the number wasn't 10 grand. It's different for everybody. I went to start Keller Williams franchise a couple of times and never did it. Got close the second time. And they make you have a minimum of 3 months in advance of all expenses as core capital. And for me, every business that I've ever ran, that's been the bare minimum foundation, right? At least 3 months core capital in the bank. And, I don't think that enough people run their finances in that way. And I don't know, if you have a steady Eddie check, if it's as important. I think it would be for me. But I'm talking about, for self-employed people, entrepreneurs, when you get to a certain level of overhead, you just can't call somebody and ask them to borrow money. It's not like asking for $100, It's you're at a different level. So you have to rely on yourself, and you can't make good decisions unless you have that money in the bank. And so, I think that a lot of times when we get into business, there's all kinds of things for us to buy. You can buy t-shirts, you can buy swag, you can buy pens with your name on it, you can buy, hats, you can just buy about it. Oh, sorry, got a call. You can wrap your vehicle, right? Wrap it. You buy a moving van. You just buy all kinds of stuff. But if you're not investing specifically only in the things that give you a return on investment that are consistent, before you buy anything else, and at a minimum getting that 3 months of core capital in there, I think that you're putting yourself in a position of a lot of anxiety and stress that's just unnecessary. You know, you want to milk the cow, not have a barbecue. A good business should feed you consistently. And anytime you're dipping into that, you know, reserve revenue of that 3 months minimum, you need to start chopping off overhead to allocate for that, because something's going wrong in your business. Something's happening. Maybe the market's shifting. Maybe your marketing isn't as effective and needs some attention. You know, maybe, I mean, there's just all kinds of things, but you need to compensate for it. And it all starts with having that one rule of keeping that core capital in the bank those 3 months in advance of expenses. You know, not suckering in for, you know, all the things that they try to sell us on. I mean, even keeping up with the Joneses, you know, having that fancy car. Is it really worth the peace of mind and stress that it might cause, you know? For me, no, not so much. I'd rather be able to sleep well at night, and I'd rather be able to say no to things that I don't want to do, to things that are maybe not good investments. I like to have a clear mind when I'm going to make a decision, and I like to make it out of the opposite of necessity, right? Make it out of an abundance decision. And it starts with keeping your finances right. So hopefully that added some value. Hopefully if you're not doing that, you'll consider doing it. And by the way, not just with your business, with your personal finances, minimum 3 months in advance of all your expenses. I'm telling you, it makes everything a lot less stressful, and it makes you be able to take advantage of opportunities when they come across your plate, and again, say no to things that maybe aren't advantageous but are just instant gratification. Have a great day.